Hey there, guitar friends. Welcome to All About Guitar Academy. Today we're going to be talking about 3 easy steps to learn to play the guitar, and that's coming right up. Okay, let's talk about those 3 easy steps to learn guitar. So if you've never played guitar before, or you're just now coming back to it, or if you're like me, an older guy who's had injuries and had to take time off and then come back and relearn, whatever your situation is, young, old, middle-aged, it really doesn't matter. Easy step number 1 requires one thing. And that one thing could be mindset, it could be allowing yourself enough time. All of those kind of factors are important. But this one step, I think, is the most important. No matter what your situation is, you need a guitar. Yeah, that's right. Step number 1 is get a guitar. All right, so there's so many different ways that you can get a guitar nowadays. I remember when I was growing up and started learning how to play the guitar, I waited until my birthday and I got a guitar from my dad, and that's how I got started. And then as I grew older, I found guitars at pawn shops. I got them at the local music store. Well, nowadays there are so many different ways to get guitars. And the guitar I've got right here, for example, I got this from Sweetwater, and I'm an affiliate with Sweetwater, so I earn a commission if you buy one through one of my links. So I'm going to put that in the description. Now, this particular guitar that I've got is a Martin D13E. It's about a $1,400 acoustic electric guitar. Now, you're just starting out, you probably don't want to drop $1,400 on an acoustic electric guitar, although you could. It totally depends on your situation. But there's so many different awesome brand name guitars out there that I will recommend in the description box that you can get for between $200 to $500 that are going to work just fine. But you want to get a guitar for several reasons. Number 1, you're not going to learn anything by just thinking about guitar or looking at guitars. You need an actual guitar. So you've got to get that very first guitar. And if you've never played before, I don't recommend going out of your budget. Nothing like that. Get a good guitar that you can play that's going to cause you to want to learn how to play it. It sounds good. The action on it is good. And what I mean by action is the strings aren't too high up off of the fretboard. And so get it from a professional if you can, a professional company. Local music store, somebody that you know that sells guitars, pawn shop. If you do go to a pawn shop though, make sure you test the guitar out really well. Nothing against pawn shops, but somebody else has been playing that guitar and their action on that guitar is not going to be the same as yours. So I know it's a no-brainer, step number 1, but you'd be surprised how many people I talk to that want to take lessons and they don't even have a guitar yet. So get a guitar. Okay, step number 2, and remember, we're keeping these easy steps. You've got your guitar, so now what? Now you need to learn some basic open chords. And what do I mean by basic open chords? I'm talking about C major, G major, D, A, E, those types of chords. You can even start with chords that only require 2 fingers. For example, E minor. E minor is what I teach my students usually on their very first lesson, because it leads you down the road to learning all the other chords, and it's very easy to play. It only takes 2 fingers to play that chord. I've got it up here so you can see the chord chart, and what the chord chart simply shows, it shows the guitar from this angle. So you've got string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And also it shows you on the chord chart where to put each finger for that chord. But now some of us have challenges with our fingers from injuries, things like that. We've gotten older, or might even be missing a finger or 2. In that case, you're just going to want to think outside the box and use the fingers that work the best for you for each chord. But let's go ahead and do a little lesson on open chords, since I've got you here now, and you're here because you want to learn to play the guitar. So one of the first chords you want to learn is E minor. The next chord I recommend you learn, which is very easy to switch from E minor to this next chord, is A suspended 2. And don't worry about what that means, but this is what the chord looks like. And it's actually just an E minor moved down to the next 2 strings over. So it looks like this and it sounds like this. All right, so we've got A sus 2. All right, and then a third chord you might want to learn is what we call a D5, only using 2 fingers. And it sounds like this and looks like that. Okay, so that's E minor, A sus 2, and a D5. If you're following along with me, congratulations, you just learned 3 basic chords. Once you learn your basic chords, you want to go into other chords like E major, C major, D major, A major, and then a G major, for example. Okay, those are basic open chords, and they're chords that every new guitarist wants to learn. When you get to learning basic open chords, it's very helpful if you have a teacher. That's how I learned. I had a mentor to guide me on my path when I first started out on the guitar. Nowadays, you've got YouTube. You can always come to All About Guitar Academy and browse through all of our lessons. I try to put a new lesson up every week on YouTube, free of charge, doesn't cost you anything except a little bit of your time. I try to keep them short and easy. In fact, I've got a playlist called Mastering the Basics of Guitar. Make sure you check that out if you're wanting to get started out on some basic chords. Or spend a little bit of money and buy a course. If you buy a course nowadays, there's so many awesome courses out there. You get so much for your money. And I've got a course, I'll put it in the description box, called Fast Track Guitar for people just starting out. Or your local music shop probably has a guitar instructor that can put you through a series of beginner lessons. But if you can't go that route and you want to just dabble and do some free things, YouTube is a great place to go. So highly encourage YouTube. So that's step number 2, learn some basic chords. Okay, you've got your guitar, you've learned some basic chords. What next? Now you need to, step number 3, learn your first song on the guitar. So where do you start to learn your first song on the guitar? Again, so many resources out there, YouTube, our guitar courses, other people's courses. All you have to do is just do a search on your phone. But I'll give you one right now. How about Knockin' on Heaven's Door? The song requires only 3 chords through the entire song. And I've got a video out there on this song, how to play it, so I'll put that in the description as well. But basically for Knockin' on Heaven's Door, the only 3 chords you need are G major, D major, then we're going to throw an A minor in there. All right, so I've got the chord charts up here for you. Let's just learn our very first song. If this is your first one, congratulations, you're about to learn it. G, D, A minor, 2, 3, 4, and G, D, A minor. Very easy song. G and D, A minor. Back to G and back to D, A minor. All right, you get it. And you'll notice that I'm not doing any fancy strumming patterns or anything like that. So when you're brand new starting out or coming back to guitar, I recommend make your first strumming pattern just down, 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 down. Keep it simple. Later on, you'll get into that kind of stuff. So just be patient, learn one strumming pattern at a time. So number 3, easy step is learn your first song on guitar. So that's what I've got for all of my guitar friends out there today. I hope you learned something today. I hope you're inspired and fired up to learn how to play guitar. And I do hope you'll come back to YouTube and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an online guitar lesson from us. And even better yet, check us out at allaboutguitaracademy.com for more guitar resources. We want to help you out. We're on a mission to teach 1 million people to learn to play the guitar, and we're going to do it. Are you one in a million? Stay tuned for more.